Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this quick video showing you how you can get started with the Blood Money DLC inside of Red Dead Online. The first thing you want to do is head down to Saint Denis and look for this icon on your map, which will then trigger a cutscene as you approach it. Through this cutscene, you will also be introduced to a new currency called Capitali. Capitali is the currency you will use later down the line when you want to start doing some opportunities. More on those later. Now, after the cutscene, you have also unlocked the brand new Blood Money missions. These missions are free roam missions you can find on your map by looking for this following icon. There are a total of 4 different characters you will meet with this, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to go to one certain character to do one certain mission. It is true that each of these individual characters will have one different mission each. However, for the multi-part missions, they all will just simply be able to go to any of them and just continue where you left off. There is indeed a cooldown timer on the regular missions, but in terms of the multi-part missions, you will not get a cooldown until you've done the very last part. If you happen to fail a mission, you will also have a cooldown. So say, for example, I was doing the 3rd part of the railroad contract. Unfortunately, Floorball decided to murder the guy that we had to capture, so we had to wait 45 minutes. And unfortunately for us, that did mean that even though we did fail the mission, we had to wait 45 minutes in order to try it again. Completing the 3rd and final part of the multi-stage missions will put a cooldown on that specific set of contracts that you had to do. You can of course move on to any other 3-stage missions or just a regular Blood Money mission if you want to continue on trying to get yourself some Capitali. Speaking of Capitali, in order to acquire Capitali, there is unfortunately only 2 ways of doing so. This is by either playing these Blood Money missions and then basically looting everything that moves, especially the targets that you have to go for because they can have the most amount of Capitali on them, as well as going to the fence where you'll be able to purchase 10 Capitalis for 3 gold bars. Having said this, it will cost you at least 15 Capitalis in order to play an Opportunities mission, and this does scale up to higher difficulties of course as well. So for standard difficulty, you will need 15 Capitalis, for hard difficulty, you will need 20 Capitalis, and for ruthless difficulty, you will get 25 Capitalis. And really the only way to grind for these things is purely based on RNG. There's a few things what you can also do to acquire some more, which is by looting crates, as well as other things within the missions. It really just comes down to you exploring the area and trying to find either some chest or loot the enemies that you have just shot down. Again, in particular the targets you have to either capture or kill, because they generally have Capitalis on them. As an example, during the railroad contract that I did in the last part of the mission, I was able to get 3 Capitalis of the body that we had to get to a certain location. So really what it comes down to is shooting everything that moves and looting everything that moves in the hopes that you will get some of those Capitalis, or then start just dashing out gold. However, I have to give you a big fat warning for spending gold on these Capitalis for the opportunity missions, because you will always make a loss. If you were to spend the 9 gold bars it will take to get the required amount of Capitalis, which is 25, in order to play the Ruthless mission, you will not make it back. I personally did a Ruthless difficulty opportunity mission and I only got 0.24 gold back for it, and also 0.6 gold too, but I think that might have been a challenge. So for that reason, if you are spending money on the Capitalis, you need to make sure that you're only doing it because you just simply want to play the mission. There's not really any gold or money in this, because the money I got for it was $173 compared to the $112 that you got on standard difficulty. And that basically is all there is to it for the Blood Money DLC. If you have some more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and found it useful, subscribe for more, and if you really like what you see on that channel, consider becoming a member, like Chloe, Robert, Alus Fire, Captain Price, Shakulu, and Dr. Strange Love. Join them and all the other fellow members by clicking the join button down below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all later.